Good afternoon, radio fans, or should I say, good afternoon, football fans. We're talking football today. This is Big Al. It's Saturday, November 7th, 2020, and this is part 2 of my Week 9 NFL preview. As we'll take a look at the remaining 13 games on this weekend's schedule. First, we're going to start off by mentioning the teams that are off this week. That's the Cincinnati Bengals with a record of 2-5-1, the Cleveland Browns at 5-3, the Los Angeles Rams also at 5-3, and the NFC East leading Philadelphia Eagles at 3-4-1. And quickly, I want to run you through the statistics of all four of those teams first. Starting off with the Cincinnati Bengals. On offense, the Bengals are 18th in the NFL in total yards at 361.9. They're 24th in rushing at 101.2. Passing yards, they are number 12 at 260.6. Bengals scored 24.2 points a game, which is 20th. And average time of possession is 32 minutes and 44 seconds, which is number 2 in the NFL behind only Green Bay. Defensively, the Bengals give up 400.9 yards per game, which is 27th. Rush defense is not great either, 144.2, that's 30th. Passing defense, they're 24th at 256.6 yards per game. And in scoring, the Bengals allow 26.8 points per game, which puts them at number 21. All right, the Cincinnati Bengals are number 18 in the NFL in third down conversions on offense at 42.48%. On fourth down conversions, they're at 92.31%, putting them at number 2 behind only Buffalo. All right, third down conversions defensively, the Bengals are 25th at 48.45%. And on fourth down conversions on defense, Cincinnati is number 9 at 42.86%. All right. The Cleveland Browns also in the bye week with a 5-3 record. Here's their statistical numbers. Cleveland ranks number 23 in the league in total offense at 346.8 yards per game. They have the number 5 rushing attack in football at 150 yards per game. Passing yards is near the bottom at 196.8. That's 27th. As for points, the Browns average 25.8 points per game. That puts them at number 16. Average time of possession, I'm looking around. There they are. 29 minutes and 11 seconds. That's 20 seconds. All right. On defense, the Cleveland Browns allow 371.4 yards a game. That puts them at number 19. They allow 106.6 rushing yards per game, which is 11th. Passing yards, they give up 264.8. That's number 26. As far as scoring is concerned, the Browns give up 29.6 points per game, which is 27th. Third down conversions on offense, the Browns are 22nd at 40.66%. They are 26th in fourth down conversions on offense at 41.67%. Third down conversions defensively, Cleveland also ranks 26th at 48.48%. And on fourth down conversions defensively, Cleveland allows 92.86%, which is number 31, ahead of only the Carolina Panthers. The next team in the bye are the 5-3 LA Rams, who are number 8 in total yards on offense at 396.4, number 7 in rushing at 137.8. They are 13th in passing yards at 258.6. The offense averages 24.1 points a game, which is 21st. And average time of possession for the Los Angeles Rams is 31 minutes and 33 seconds, good for 9th. LA boasts the top-rated defense as far as total yards allowed at 291.9. They're number 4 in rushing defense, surrendering 94.8 yards per game. They are second in the league against the pass, giving up 197.1 yards per game. Only Washington has allowed fewer yards. And LA also ranks in a tie for third in points at 19 points per game, tied with the Chiefs, again for third. Third down conversions on offense, LA is at 44.04%, enough to put them at number 10. Fourth down conversions on offense, they're towards the bottom of the league. They're number 25 at 42.86%. Third down conversions on defense is 33.33%. That ties them with Miami for second. Only Chicago has a better third down defense. And the Los Angeles Rams on fourth downs defensively are at 38.46%, which ties them with the Atlanta Falcons for fifth. And that brings us to the Philadelphia Eagles, the last of the 4 teams in the bye for Week 9. Offensively, the Eagles average 330 yards a game, which is number 26. Rushing yards is 118.6. That puts them 15th. The Eagles are also 26th in passing yards at 211.4. They average 23.2 points per game. And their average time of possession is 28 minutes and 46 seconds, both ranking 23rd in the NFL. As far as total defense, Philadelphia allows an average of 340.1 yards per game, which is number 9. So yeah, that defense is much better than what everyone gives them credit for. Outside of the rushing defense, that's where they're getting gashed. They're number 24 in stopping the run at 130.8 rushing yards per game. Philadelphia allows 209.4 passing yards per game. That's number 5. And the defense gives up 25.6 points per game, putting them at number 16. Third down conversions on offense, the Eagles are 16th at 42.99%. Fourth down conversion offense, they're at 28.57%, tied with Jacksonville for 30th. And ranking ahead of only the Denver Broncos, who have yet to record a fourth down play this year. Third down conversions on defense, Philly's middle of the pack at 39.64%. That's number 14. And they are at 50% on fourth down conversions on defense, which is number 12. So those are the 4 teams that are off in week number 9. Now let's get to the teams that will be playing this weekend. Outside of the Packers and 49ers, I did the preview of that game on Thursday. You can go check that out, see how I picked that game. Anyway, to the Sunday afternoon schedule, starting off with the Baltimore Ravens at the Indianapolis Colts. Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Your announcers will be Ian Eagle, Charles Davis, and sideline reporter Evan Washburn. The current point spread as of 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday was Baltimore -1. The over-under was set at 47.5. I'll give you my straight up and against the spread picks in just a moment, but let's take a look at how both teams rank. Starting with the offenses. The Baltimore Ravens are 20th in total yards at 358.6. The Colts are 17th at 363.6. Baltimore touts the league's top-rated rushing attack, averaging 178.7 yards per game, while the Colts are near the bottom at 101 yards per game, which is 25th. The Baltimore Ravens average 179.9 passing yards per game. That's number 31, ahead of only the Jets. While Indianapolis averages 262.6 yards per game. That's number 11. As far as points are concerned, both are in the top 10. Baltimore averages 29 points a game, tied with Arizona for 8th. The Colts are right there behind them at 28.3 points a game, putting them at number 10. Average time of possession, both teams also rank in the top 10. Baltimore averages 31 minutes, 4 seconds in time of possession per game. That's number 10. Indianapolis is at 31 minutes and 51 seconds, putting them at 7. As far as total defense, looks like both teams are in the top 10 as well. The Ravens are number 7 in total defense, allowing 322.9 yards per game, while the Colts are number 2 at 293.4, trailing only the Los Angeles Rams. Both teams are solid against the run. Baltimore averages 100.3 rushing yards allowed per game. That's also number 7. Indianapolis allows 79.9 rushing yards per game, putting them number 2 behind only Tampa Bay. Both pass defenses are also in the top 10. The Ravens are at 222.6 passing yards allowed per game. That's number 10. The Colts are at 213.6, good enough to put them at number 6. And scoring-wise, both teams are in the top 5. Baltimore allows 18.9 points per game, which is second behind only the Dolphins. And the Indianapolis Colts are at 19.4 points per game, putting them at number 5. All right, third down conversions on offense. Looking for the Baltimore Ravens, they're at 43.96% on third down conversions on offense, tying them with Carolina for 11th. The Indianapolis Colts are at 40.91% on third down offense. That's number 20. As for fourth down conversions on offense, the Ravens are at 62.5%, which is 17th, so right in the middle of the league. The Indianapolis Colts are slightly better than that at 66.67%. They are tied with Detroit, Houston, and New Orleans for 12th. Third down conversions defensively, the Baltimore Ravens are one of the best at 34.52%. That puts them at number 4 in this category. While the Colts are in the middle of the league at 41.94%, putting them 17th. And then on fourth down conversions defensively, the Baltimore Ravens are at 33.33%, which is number 4 in the league. The Colts are at an even 60%, tied with the Lions for 18th. All right. This is going to be a fun game. Both defenses are top 10 or top 5 across the board. So it looks like points may very well be at a premium here. But I think the Ravens have way too many weapons for the Colts to contend with, especially Lamar Jackson. We know how big a threat he is running the football. And that's going to be a test for this Indianapolis front seven to try to slow him down. That said, I'm taking the Ravens to win this game 24-20, and I also have them covering that 1-point spread. Moving on to our next game, we've got the Carolina Panthers with a record of 3-5, visiting the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs at 7-1. This is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. The broadcast team will be Kevin Burkhardt on play-by-play, Daryl Johnston on color commentary, and sideline reports from Pam Oliver. The current spread as of 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, so this line hasn't changed all that much in the last 5 days. Kansas City minus 10.5. Over under is set at 52. Now let's take a look at the tell of the tape for the Carolina Panthers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Starting off with the offenses. The Carolina Panthers averaged 361 yards of offense per game. That puts them at number 19. While the Chiefs are at 410.5 yards per game. That's number 4 in the NFL and second in the AFC. As far as rushing offense goes, the Panthers average 110.6 yards per game, which is 18th. The Chiefs, 124.1, which ranks 13th. All right, on the passing offense, where the Carolina Panthers are number 19 in the NFL at 250.4 yards per game. And the Chiefs are number 4 at 286.4. Carolina's offense averages 22.4 points per game, putting them at number 25. While Kansas City averages 31.6 points per game. That's second in the league behind only Seattle. Average time of possession, both teams are pretty much middle of the pack. The Panthers average 30 minutes, 17 seconds in time of possession. That's number 14. The Chiefs average 30 minutes and 3 seconds in time of possession, which puts them at number 17. All right, let's take a look at the defenses for both teams. Starting off with the Carolina Panthers. They allow 357.4 yards per game, number 15 in the league. While the Kansas City Chiefs give up 344 yards a game. That's enough to put them in the top 10. As far as rushing defense is concerned, both are in the bottom half of the league. The Panthers allow 124.9 rushing yards a game. That puts them at number 20. Kansas City, though, gives up 142.8 rushing yards per game, which is 29th. Only Cincinnati, Houston, and Dallas allow more rushing yards on average than the Chiefs. As far as passing defense, Carolina is 15th at 232.5 yards per game, while Kansas City is number 3 at 201.2. Only Washington and the LA Rams allow fewer passing yards on average than the Kansas City Chiefs. As far as scoring goes, Carolina's defense allows 24.1 points per game, putting them at number 13. And the Chiefs allow 19 points a game, tying them with the LA Rams for third. Moving to third down conversions on offense. The Carolina Panthers are 11th in the NFL at 43.96%. The Kansas City Chiefs are at 49.5%. That's number 3 in the NFL, behind both Buffalo and Las Vegas. Fourth down conversions on offense. The Carolina Panthers are at 50%, as are the Chiefs. And both are tied with the Chicago Bears for 22nd. Third down conversions defensively. The Panthers are one of the worst third down defenses in the NFL at 54.17%. That is second worst in the NFL, ahead of only the Tennessee Titans. While Kansas City on third down defense is one of the best. They're at 38.54%, which puts them at number 9. And in fourth down conversions on defense, the Carolina Panthers dead last in the NFL at 100%. The Chiefs, not much better, at 61.54%. They're number 20. Just as the Chiefs mopped the floor of the New York Jets last week, I expect the same thing this week against the Carolina Panthers. I think Kansas City is the far more talented team. And I think Carolina will have a tough time trying to keep up with Patrick Mahomes and that high-powered offense. That said, I got the Chiefs in a rout, 34-14, and I got them covering the 10.5 point spread. So this is the second straight week that Kansas City goes into a game as a double-digit favorite. Remember last week against the Jets, they were 19.5 point favorites. They end up beating the Jets by 26 points. Okay, let's go to our next game. And this is another battle of 5-win teams, as the 5-3 Chicago Bears travel to Nashville to face the 5-2 Tennessee Titans. Both teams coming in with 2-game losing streaks. This will be Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. The broadcast team will be play-by-play announcer Dick Stockton, color commentator Greg Jennings, and sideline reporter Laura Oakman. The point spread as of 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time Thursday was Tennessee minus 6.5, and the over-under was set at 46.5. Let's take a look at the tell of the tape. The Chicago Bears and the Tennessee Titans, starting off with the offenses. Chicago boasts one of the worst offenses in the league as far as the yard standpoint goes. They're at 310.6 yards per game, which ranks 29th. So while the Bears boast one of the league's worst offenses, on the other side of the spectrum, you have the Tennessee Titans, who have one of the league's best. At 407 yards per game, that puts them at number 5. All right. Rushing yards, they're on both ends of the spectrum as well. Chicago's on the low end at 85.6 yards per game. That's number 31, ahead of only Houston. Tennessee, whose ground attack is, of course, led by Derrick Henry, ranks number 4 in rushing at 155.6. All right, let's take a look at passing yards. The Chicago Bears are 22nd at 225 yards per game. The Tennessee Titans are 18th at 251.4. And then you got the points. Chicago ranks 28th in scoring at 20.1 points per game, while the Tennessee Titans average 29.7 points per game, which is number 6. All right, average time of possession. The Chicago Bears rank number 16 in the league at 30 minutes and 6 seconds, while the Titans are 28th at 27 minutes and 44 seconds. Let's take a look at the defenses. The Chicago Bears allowed 348.5 yards per game. That's number 12. while the Tennessee Titans are 25th at 396.9. All right, rushing defense. The Chicago Bears give up 120 yards per game. That ranks them 16th. Tennessee allows 128.1, which is 22nd. Passing defense. The Bears give up 228.5 passing yards per game. That puts them at number 13. While Tennessee has one of the worst defenses against the pass, they surrender 268.7 yards a game, putting them at number 27. And then you get to points. Chicago's one of the top teams in this category. They allow 20.8 points per game, which puts them at number 8. While the Tennessee Titans defense gives up 26.3 points a game, putting them at number 18. Third down conversions on offense, the Chicago Bears are at 34.86%. That's number 31 in the NFL, ahead of only the New York Jets, who hasn't even hit 30% for the season. The Tennessee Titans are at number 7 in third down conversions on offense at 47.56%. Fourth down conversions on offense, the Chicago Bears are at 50%, tied with both Carolina and Kansas City for 22nd. While the Tennessee Titans on fourth down conversions offensively are at 80%, tying them with the Las Vegas Raiders and New York Giants for 7th. Third down conversions defense, the Chicago Bears have the best third down defense in the NFL at 29.82%. Conversely, the Tennessee Titans has the worst third down conversion defense in the league at 61.86%. And then fourth down conversions on defense, Chicago's at 66.67%, tied with the Jets for 22nd, while the Tennessee Titans sit just below them at 71.43%, placing them at number 24. Now, this is going to be an interesting game. The Titans look nowhere near like the team that won their first 5 games. In fact, if you will, they kind of regressed these last couple of weeks. Losing to a solid Pittsburgh team 1 week and then going on the road and losing to an inferior Cincinnati team with a rookie quarterback. And then you have the Chicago Bears, where the play calling from Matt Nagy has been spotty at best. Nick Foles has not proven anything to me as their starting quarterback. And if they do go back to Mitchell Trubisky, you can pretty much put a fork in this team. I don't care how good the defense is. The quarterback play is important. And right now, they just don't have it. This was one of the tougher games for me to pick this week. But I am going to go with the Tennessee Titans to win outright 28-23. However, I have Chicago as the road underdog covering the 6.5 points. I think they can get some points off of that terrible Titans defense and keep the thing close. But in the end, I think Ryan Tannehill is by far the better quarterback than Nick Foles. All right. This next game, I also had a tough time deciding on who to pick. That's the Denver Broncos at the Atlanta Falcons. The Broncos come in with a 3-4 record, and they're fresh off of last week's dramatic come-from-behind win against the Chargers, in which the Broncos erased a 21-point deficit in the third quarter to pull that win out. And then you got the Atlanta Falcons at 2-6. They're coming off a win themselves against the Carolina Panthers on Thursday Night Football. This game will be Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. The play-by-play announcers will be play-by-play announcer George not George Gumbel, but rather Greg Gumbel, color commentator and former NFL quarterback Rich Gannon, and sideline reports from longtime NFL place kicker Jay Feely. The point spread in this game as of 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday is the Falcons -4, and the over-under was set at 49 points. Let's take a look at the offensive and defensive numbers on both teams, also known as the tell of the tape. Starting with the Denver Broncos, who are number 27 in the NFL in total offense at 326.9 yards per game. The Falcons are 6th in the league in total yards at 401 per game. As far as rushing offense, the Denver Broncos are 17th in the league at 112.9, while the Falcons sit at 108.6. They're tied with Buffalo for 19th. Passing yards, both teams are both teams are not in the top 10. In fact, the Broncos are towards the bottom. They're at 214 passing yards per game. That's number 25. The Atlanta Falcons are at 292.4. That's second in the NFL behind only the Dallas Cowboys. As far as points, the Broncos average 21 points a game, which is number 27. The Falcons average 26.1 points per game, tying them with Minnesota for 13th. Average time of possession for the Denver Broncos is 29 minutes and 30 seconds. That's 20th. The Falcons are at 31 minutes, 38 seconds, putting them at number 8. On defense, the Denver Broncos allow 360 yards per game, which is 17th. The Falcons 410.6, ranking them 28th. Rush defense. Denver allows 123.4 rushing yards per game. That's number 18. The Atlanta Falcons, one of the top defenses against the run, allowing 99.2 yards per game, putting them number 6. Then you get the passing defense. The Denver Broncos allow 236.6 yards a game, which is 16th. The Atlanta Falcons allow 311.4, 31st in the league, ahead of only Seattle. And then you get to points defensively. The Denver Broncos give up 26.1 points a game. That's number 17. The Falcons allow 28 points a game, which is 22nd. All right. Third down conversions on offense. The Broncos are at 36.26%. That's number 30 in the league, ahead of only the Bears and Jets. Atlanta is 15th at 43.12%. Fourth down conversions on offense. The Denver Broncos still hasn't recorded a fourth down play, so they're still at 0%, number 32. Falcons are at 56.25% on fourth down conversions on offense, putting them at number 19. Third down conversions defense. Both are in the top 10. Denver is at 36%, which is number 6. Atlanta not too far behind them at 37.78%, which is number 8. And both teams also rank in the top 10 in fourth down defense. The Broncos are at 44.44%, tied with the Green Bay Packers for 10th, while the Falcons are at 38.46%, tied with the Los Angeles Rams for 5th. Now I think Denver has the better defense of the two teams. Atlanta has the better offense and the better quarterback of the two teams. I much rather take Matt Ryan as my quarterback over Drew Lock. Just saying. I have the Falcons winning this game 26-14, and I have Atlanta covering the 4 points. All right, next game, we go to the NFC North. The 3-4 Detroit Lions at the 2-5 Minnesota Vikings. The Lions got crushed at home last week against Indianapolis, while the Vikings went into Green Bay and upset the Packers. This game is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Your announcers will be play-by-play voice Kevin Harlan, color commentator Trent Green, and sideline reporter Melanie Collins. The point spread as of 2 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday is Minnesota -4, over-under is set at 52. All right, now the tell of the tape of these two NFC North rivals, starting with the offenses. The Detroit Lions averaged 350.1 yards per game. That's number 22. Minnesota Vikings averaged 367 yards a game, putting them at number 16. As far as rushing offense, the Lions are one of the worst at 97.1 rush yards per game. That's number 29. The Vikings, conversely, led by Dalvin Cook, are one of the best at 144 rushing yards per game. That's number 6. All right, passing offense. The Lions are at 253 yards a game. That is 15th. While the Vikings average 223 passing yards a game, putting them at number 23. As far as points are concerned, the Vikings average 26.1 points a game, tied with Atlanta for 13th. The Lions score 25.3 points a game, putting them at number 18. Average time of possession, both are in the bottom 10. Detroit's number 25 at 28 minutes and 31 seconds, while Minnesota is 30th at 27 minutes and 29 seconds. And that is the lowest average time of possession of any NFC team after 8 weeks. Now to the defenses. And neither are pretty good. The Lions average 378.4 yards per game on defense. That's 23rd. The Vikings give up 411.7 yards per game, putting them at number 29. They are one of 6 defenses to allow at least 400 yards per game on defense. Rushing defense is not pretty strong for either team either. The Lions are 23rd against the run at 130 yards per game, while the Vikings are 19th at 124.4. Looking at passing defense, the Detroit Lions give up 248.4 yards a game. That's 19th. Minnesota allows 287.3, which is 30th, ahead of only both Atlanta and Seattle. And both are near the bottom as far as scoring defense. The Lions allow 29.4 points per game, which is number 26 in the NFL. The Vikings give up 30.6 points a game, which is number 29. Third down conversions offense. Detroit sits at 40%. That's 24th. Minnesota's at 39.13%, which is 27th. So neither team moving the chains on third down so far this year. All right, fourth down conversions on offense. The Lions are at 66.67%. They are tied with Houston, Indianapolis, and New Orleans for 12th. While the Minnesota Vikings are at 55.56%, putting them at number 20. Third down conversions defense. The Lions are one of the worst third down defenses in the NFL at 48.86%. That's number 28. The Vikings are at 35.37% on third down defense. That is number 5. Fourth down conversions defense. The Lions, there's the Broncos, the Cowboys. There's the Lions. They're at 60% on fourth down conversions on defense, tying them with Indianapolis for 18th, while the Minnesota Vikings are at 75%. They are tied with Jacksonville, Las Vegas, and New Orleans for 25th. I think given the Lions' history playing in Minneapolis, they usually struggle, and I think that will be the case here. Dalvin Cook, I think, is going to feast on another bad run defense in the Detroit Lions. So if I'm Mike Zimmer, I'd be giving number 30 the ball repeatedly. Keep that defense off balance. Give me the Vikings in this one, 27-16, and I also have them covering the 4 points. All right, so we go from a division clash in the NFC North to a divisional clash in the AFC South. And this is for the basement in that division. The Houston Texans travel to Jacksonville to face the Jaguars, both teams coming in with 1-6 records. This game is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. The broadcast team will be play-by-play announcer Spiro Dedes, and color commentator Adam Archuleta. The current point spread as of 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday is Houston -7 and the over-under set at 50. Now the tell of the tape for the Texans and Jaguars starting on offense. The Jacksonville Jaguars average 343 yards per game in total offense, putting them at number 24. The Texans are 15th at 367.6. All right. These are two of the three worst rushing attacks in football. Houston averages a league low 84.9 yards per game rushing, while Jacksonville is number 30 at 96.6. So rushing yards will be at a premium in this game. As far as passing offense goes, the Texans average 282.7 yards a game. That's number 5. While further down the list, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars at 246.4, number 20. The Texans average 23.7 points a game, putting them at number 22. Jacksonville averages 22 points a game, which is 26th. And these are two of the worst teams in average time of possession. The Texans have the worst average time of possession in the NFL at 26 minutes, 49 seconds, while the Jaguars are 29th at 27 minutes and 42 seconds. On defense, these are two of the worst as well. The Texans allow 417.6 yards per game. Jacksonville gives up 424.4, ranking 30th and 31st respectively. Houston has the second worst rush defense in football at 165.9 yards per game. Only their in-state rivals, the Dallas Cowboys, allow more rushing yards than the Texans. Jacksonville is not much better. They allow 142.6, which is 28th. As far as passing defense, the Texans are a slightly better unit than the Jaguars. They average 251.7 passing yards allowed per game, tying them with the LA Chargers for 21st, while the Jaguars are 28th in passing defense at 281.9. All right. And the Texans and Jaguars also ranking 30th and 31st in scoring defense. Houston gives up 31 points a game. Jacksonville gives up 31.4. Third down conversions on offense. The Houston Texans are at 40.74%, putting them at number 21. But conversely, the Jaguars are one of the best offenses on third down at 46.59%, putting them at number 8. And the roles are reversed as far as fourth down conversions on offense. Houston's at 66.67%, tying them with Detroit, Indianapolis, and New Orleans for 12th, while Jacksonville is at 28.57%. They are tied with the LA Chargers and the Philadelphia Eagles for 29th. Third down conversions defense. The Houston Texans are at 48.42%, which puts them at number 24. Jacksonville is at 43.37%, ranking them 19th. And both have terrible defenses on fourth down. The Texans are at 77.78%. That is 29th in the NFL. Jacksonville's at 75%. They are tied with Las Vegas, Minnesota, and New Orleans for 25th. These division games can go either way. I think I picked Jacksonville to beat Houston in the first game, and I end up losing that pick. We'll try it again, and hopefully I'm correct. I'm going to take the Texans to win this game 24-19, but since this is a divisional contest, I have Jacksonville as the home underdog covering the 7 points. And rumor has it that the Jaguars went under a quarterback change during the bye week. So they went from Gardner Minshew, and now they got another guy in there. So we'll see how that plays out. All right, next game is another division clash, this time from the NFC East. As the 1-7 New York Football Giants, who nearly pulled off a Monday night upset at home against Tampa Bay, traveled to the nation's capital to face the Washington football team with a 2-5 record and fresh off of their bye week. This game is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. The announcers will be play-by-play voice Kenny Albert and color commentator Jonathan Vilma, with Shannon Spake handling your sideline reports. All right, the point spread as of 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time today, Saturday, is Washington minus 2.5, over-unders 43. Now to the tell of the tape. Taking a look at the two offenses who are both pretty bad. All right. The New York Giants and the Washington football team ranked 31st and 30th, respectively, in total offense. The Giants are at 291.8 yards per game, while Washington's at 292.7. All right, let's take a look at rushing offense. New York is 27th at 98.5 yards per game. Washington is 26th at 100.1. All right. Passing offense, both are near the bottom as well. The Giants average 193.2 yards per game. Washington averages 192.6. They rank 28th and 29th, respectively. And point scoring, they're on the low end of the totem pole as well. The Giants are 31st, averaging 18.1 points per game, while Washington is 30th at 19 points a game. Average time of possession, the New York Giants are 26th at 27 minutes and 55 seconds. Washington is 19th at 29 minutes and 33 seconds. All right, let's jump to the defenses. Where both teams lack on offense, they pretty much make up for it on defense. The New York Giants are number 13 in total defense at 354.8 yards allowed per game. Washington allows just 309.1 yards per game. Good to put them at number 4. All right, as far as against the run, the New York Giants are 8th in the league at 102 yards per game. Washington's a little further down at 17th, giving up 123.3 yards per game. All right, the New York Giants are 23rd in passing defense, giving up 252.8 yards a game, while Washington leads the league at 185.9. And then you get to points. Both are in the top half of this metric. The New York Giants allow 24.9 points a game. They're tied with Buffalo for 14th. Washington allows 23.6 points a game, which is 11th. All right, third down conversions offense. The New York Giants are 19th in the league at 41.67%. Washington is 28th at 38.14%. Fourth down conversions on offense, the Giants are at 80%, tied with Las Vegas, Miami. I take that back. They're tied with Las Vegas and Tennessee for 7th. Washington is at 63.64%, putting them at number 16. Third down conversions defense, New York Giants are at 48.57%. That's number 27. Washington is at 40.43%. That places them 15th. And fourth down conversions on defense, the Giants are at 87.5%. That is 30th in the NFL. Only Cleveland and Carolina have worse defenses on fourth down than the Giants. Washington is towards the middle of the pack. They're at 55.56%. They are tied with Dallas, San Francisco, and Tampa Bay for 13th. All right, I'm going to run through the rest of these games real quick. I have Washington winning this game 23-16, and I also have them covering the 2.5 points. So if you're just joining me, this is part 2 of my Week 9 NFL preview. I have already gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the Sunday afternoon games. Now we're about to go through the rest of them, including the last of the early starts tomorrow. And that's the Seattle Seahawks at the Buffalo Bills. This is a battle of 6-win teams. Seahawks are 6-1 and fresh off of last Sunday's win at home against the injury-riddled 49ers, while the Bills are 6-2 and coming off a narrow victory at home against the New England Patriots. This game is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. The broadcast team will be play-by-play announcer Chris Myers and color commentator Brock Hewitt. With sideline reports from Jennifer Holt. The point spread as of 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday night is Seattle -3. Over-under was set at 55. That brings us down to the tail of the tape. All right, starting off with the offenses, the Seattle Seahawks average 414.4 yards a game. That is number 3 in the NFL. They trail only the Cardinals and Chargers in total offense. The Buffalo Bills average 372 yards a game. That puts them at number 13. All right, let's look at rushing offense. Seattle is 12th in the league at 125.4, while Buffalo is at 108.6, tying them with Atlanta for 19th. Passing yards, Seattle is 3rd at 289 yards per game, trailing only Dallas and Atlanta. Buffalo's is at 263.4, which is enough to get them in the top 10. All right, the Seattle Seahawks are the league's highest scoring team on average at 34.3 points per game, while the Buffalo Bills are in the bottom half at 24.8 points per game. That puts them at number 19. Average time of possession is 29 minutes, 26 seconds for the Seattle Seahawks. That's 21st. And 30 minutes, 35 seconds for the Buffalo Bills, putting them at number 12. All right, let's jump to the defense. where the Seattle Seahawks are still the league's worst as far as yards allowed at 460.9. Buffalo Bills are at 358.1, which is 16th. All right, rushing yards. Seattle is one of the best. They're at 102.1 rush yards per game. That's 9th. Buffalo is near the bottom at 134.5. That's number 26. All right, passing defense. The Seahawks are also dead last in this category, 358.7 yards per game. The Buffalo Bills are at 223.6, and that puts them at number 11. So they can slow down Russell Wilson in the pass game. All right. As far as scoring, the Seahawks allowed 28.4 points a game, which is number 24. Buffalo allows 24.9 points a game, and that is 14th. Let's jump to third down conversions on offense now. Starting off with the Seattle Seahawks, who are one of the worst. They're at 39.19% on third down conversions offensively. That's number 26. While Buffalo is at 51.58%. That's tops in the NFL. Buffalo is also number 1 in the NFL in fourth down conversions on offense at 100%. Seattle's not too bad themselves at 83.33%. They're tied with Tampa for 5th. All right, third down conversions on defense. The Seahawks are at 48.39%, which is 23rd. Buffalo's at 50.56%, putting them at number 30. And fourth down conversions on defense. Seattle's at 57.14%, placing them at number 17. Buffalo is at 42.86%. They're tied with Cincinnati for 8th. All right, so the Seahawks have been playing under the moniker / hashtag let Russ cook. And I think he can cook against a pretty beat up defensive line for the Buffalo Bills. Although I think his passing numbers may be a bit skewed because Buffalo is one of the top defenses against the pass. But I still think Russ is going to cook regardless. Give me Seattle 31-24, and I got them covering 3. Okay. Our next game as we transition to the late window is the Las Vegas Raiders, coming in with a record of 4-3. At the Los Angeles Chargers at 2-5. And it really looked like they were going to win that game in Denver. They were up 24-3, and then they just choked the game away. All right, this is Sunday at 4:05 Eastern on Fox. The announcers for this game will be play-by-play guy Joe Davis and color commentator Mark Schlereth. The current point spread as of 9 p.m. Eastern Tuesday is at a pick'em. When the line was initially released back on October 27th, the Chargers were the favorite in this game. But this game has since went into a pick'em again as of 9 o'clock Eastern time Tuesday nights. The over-under is set at 52.5. Now let's take a look at the tell of the tape of the Raiders and Chargers. Starting off with the Las Vegas Raiders, who are number 11 in the NFL in total offense at 379 yards a game. The Los Angeles Chargers are second at 417.1, trailing only the Arizona Cardinals in terms of total offense on average. All right. Vegas in rushing is 11th at 100. No, they're not 11th. They're actually tied with the San Francisco 49ers for 10th at 127 yards per game. The Chargers slightly above them at 136.7, putting them number 8. Passing offense. The Las Vegas Raiders currently sit number 16 in passing yards at 252 per game, while the Chargers are number 6 at 280.4. Yeah, Justin Herbert has really transformed that pass attack for the Chargers. All right, point scoring. Vegas is 12th in the league at 26.7 points per game. The Chargers are a little bit lower on this list. They're at 25.6 points per game, putting them at number 17. All right, average time of possession. Las Vegas is at 32 minutes and 39 seconds, which trail only the Packers and Bengals. The Chargers are also in the top 10. They average 31 minutes and 59 seconds in time of possession, putting them at number 6. All right, here's the defensive numbers for both teams. The Raiders are 21st in total yards at 377.9. The Chargers are 18th at 364. All right, rushing yards. Both are pretty much evenly matched. The Raiders are 14th in rush yards allowed, at 117.1. Chargers are 12th at 112.3. All right, passing defense. Not a strong suit for John Gruden's squad. The Raiders are 25th against the pass, allowing 260.7 yards per game, while the Chargers are at 251.7. They are tied with Houston for 21st. And then you go to point scoring. The Las Vegas Raiders average 29 points allowed per game. That is 25th. The Chargers allow 26.4 points per game, which is 19th. Moving to third down conversions on offense. The Raiders are at 51.09% on third down conversions offensively. Second in the NFL behind Buffalo. The Chargers are at 46.53%. That puts them at number 9. Fourth down conversion offense. Vegas is at 80%, tied with the New York Giants and the Tennessee Titans for 7th. The Chargers, if I can find them, here they are. They're at 28.57%. They are tied with both Jacksonville and Philadelphia for 30th, or rather 29th, in fourth down conversion offense. Third down conversions defense. The Raiders are at 47.62%, point them at number 21, while the Chargers are at 38.95%. That's number 12. And fourth down conversions on defense. The Raiders are at 75%. They're tied with Jacksonville, Minnesota, and New Orleans for 25th. While the Chargers are an even 40%, putting them at number 7. Now, after the Chargers blew that game against the Broncos, I kind of lost faith in this team. And so for that reason, but I still think that they can give Derek Carr and company a little bit of a run. But in the end, I got the Raiders winning 27-24. And if there is a point spread between now and tomorrow, I have Vegas covering. All right. Our next game hits the Miami Dolphins. Probably one of the most talked about teams in the NFL over the last couple of weeks. They come in with a record of 4-3, and they're coming off of last Sunday's win at home against the LA Rams. Oh, and by the way, Tua Tagovailoa, the rookie from Alabama, made his first career start for the Dolphins last week. They traveled to the desert to face Kyler Murray and the 5-2 Arizona Cardinals, who themselves are coming off of a bye week after that enormous Sunday night victory against Seattle 2 weeks ago. This is Sunday at 4:25 Eastern on CBS. The announcers will be play-by-play announcer Andrew Catalong, color commentator James Lofton, and sideline reporter Michael Grady. The current point spread in this game as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time Wednesday is Arizona minus 4.5, and the over-under is set at 49. Now let's jump to the tail of the tape for these two teams, starting with the offense. All right, the Miami Dolphins averaged 324.4 yards of total offense per game and 98 rushing yards per game, both of which ranked 28th. The Dolphins are 21st in passing yards at 226.4. As far as scoring is concerned, they average 26.9 points a game, which is number 11. Average time of possession is 30 minutes and 19 seconds, which is 13th. They have the Arizona Cardinals, number 1 in the NFL in total yards at 419.1 per game. Number 2 in the NFL behind Baltimore in rushing yards at 160.7. They are 14th in passing yards at 258.4. And the Cardinals average 29 points a game, tying them with Baltimore for 8th. An average time of possession, however, for the Cards is near the bottom at 28 minutes and 39 seconds, ranking them 24th. As far as defense, the Dolphins are number 20 in total yards allowed at 376. 21st in rush yards allowed at 125.1. 20th in passing defense at 250.9. But they lead the NFL in scoring defense, allowing 18.6 points per game. The Arizona Cardinals are 22nd in total yards at 378.4. 25th in rush yards allowed at 131.1. They are 18th in passing defense at 247.3. And the defense gives up 20.9 points a game, which is number 9. Third down conversions on offense. The Dolphins are at 37.8%, which is 29th, while the Cardinals are at 43.68%. That's number 13. All right, on fourth down conversions offensively, the Dolphins are 75%. That places them in the top 10. The Arizona Cardinals are one of the best fourth down converting teams in the NFL at 85.71%. They are tied with the Pittsburgh Steelers for third. And then third down conversion defense and fourth down conversion defense, the Dolphins rank third in both categories. The Dolphins allowed 33.33. In fact, they are number 3 in fourth down defense at 27.27%, trailing only New England and Pittsburgh. On third downs defensively, they're at 33.3%, and that ties them with the LA Rams for second. Only the Chicago Bears has a better third down defense. All right, the Arizona Cardinals. They are number 7 in the NFL in third down defense at 36.78%. But on fourth downs, they're at 63.64%, which puts them at number 21. This is going to be a fun game. Tua should be able to pass against this Cardinals defense, but they can be opportunistic. Buda Baker has been playing like a madman these last few games. And I think if you're in Miami, he's the guy you got to watch out for. It's Buda Baker. Because it's not just him that can make plays. There's a lot of playmakers in that Cardinals secondary that'll give Tua fits. And I think that Kyler Murray, he'll continue to run the ball effectively. I don't know how his passing numbers are going to be this week, but I know his rushing numbers should be pretty good. All right, I have the Cardinals winning this game 27-20, and I have them covering the 4.5 points. All right, the final Sunday afternoon game on the docket for Week 9 was supposed to be one of the season's marquee matchups, but given everything that has taken place, that's no longer the case. The undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers, off to their first 7-0 start since 1978, travels to Jerry World to face the injury-ravished Dallas Cowboys, who come in with a record of 2-6. The Steelers got a hard-fought win against the arch-rival Ravens in Baltimore last Sunday, while the Cowboys were pretty much dominated by the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday night. This game is Sunday at 4:25 Eastern on CBS. The announcers will be play-by-play voice Jim Nantz, color commentator Tony Romo, and sideline reporter Tracy Wolfson. The current spread as of 2 p.m. Eastern Time this afternoon, being Saturday when I recorded this, is Pittsburgh minus 15. This would be the second largest point spread in the NFL this year. The over-under is set at 44. All right, now let's take a look at the tail of the tape, and I think it's going to be a pretty lopsided tape if you ask me. All right, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 25th in total offense at 339 yards per game. They are 16th in rushing at 118 yards per game. They rank 24th in passing yards at 221. But this is one of the highest scoring teams in football. They average 30.1 points a game, which is number 5. And their average time of possession of 32 minutes and 33 seconds places them number 4. All right, the Dallas Cowboys. Statistically, they still have a pretty good offense, but they haven't been playing like it the last few weeks. They now average 398.9 yards per game, which drops them down to number 7 in total offense. They average 105.8 rushing yards per game, which is 21st. They still lead the NFL in passing yards at 293.1, but that big lead has since been shrunk considerably. And then you go to the scoring. Dallas averages 23.1 points a game, which is 24th. And they average 27 minutes, 46 seconds in time of possession, placing them 27th. All right, taking a look at the defenses. First for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are number 5 in total defense at 310.7 yards a game. They are number 5 as well in rushing defense at 96.9 yards per game. Now that's after they surrendered a season-high 265 rushing yards to Baltimore. The Steelers are number 7 in passing defense at 213.9, and they're number 6 in scoring defense at 20.3 points per game. Whereas the Dallas Cowboys are virtually towards the bottom of all of these categories except for one. All right, the Cowboys are 24th in total defense at 384.9 yards per game. And they are number 8 in passing defense at 214 yards a game. The Dallas Cowboys allow 170.9 rushing yards per game and 33.2 points per game. Both dead last in the NFL. All right, third down conversions on offense. The Steelers average 49.5% on third down conversions offensively. They're tied with the Chiefs for third, while the Dallas Cowboys are 25th at 39.81%. Fourth down conversions offense. The Steelers are at 85.71%, tied with Arizona for third. While the Dallas Cowboys are at 52.94%, putting them at number 21. Third down conversions defense. The Pittsburgh Steelers, 43.75%. That's 20th. Dallas Cowboys, 49.53%, ranking them 29th. And fourth down conversions defense. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers at 20%. That's number 2 in the NFL, again, behind only the New England Patriots, who have yet to attempt a fourth down play, let alone convert one. Dallas, meanwhile, is at 55.56%, tying them with San Francisco, Tampa Bay, and Washington for 13th. All I'm going to say is, give me the Steelers. Enough said. Steelers win 35-13, and they cover the 15 points. All right, Sunday Night Football. It's a battle for NFC South supremacy. Drew Brees and the 5-2 New Orleans Saints traveled to the pirate ship in Tampa to face Tom Brady and the 6-2 and current NFC South leaders, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. These two teams played on opening day in New Orleans. You may remember the Saints won. It'll be interesting to see how this rematch between Brees and Brady turns out. That's Sunday night, 8:20 Eastern on NBC. The broadcast team, of course, is play-by-play announcer Al Michaels, color commentator Chris Collinsworth, and sideline reporter Michelle Tafoya. The current point spread as of 10 a.m. Eastern on Saturday is Tampa Bay -4. Your over-under is at 50.5. All right, tell it a tape time. Saints Bucks, part 2. Starting with the offenses. All right, the New Orleans Saints is number 10 in total yards at 385.9. 14th in rushing yards at 119.3. They are number 7 in passing yards at 266.6. They're also number 7 in points scored at 29.4 points per game. And their average time of possession is 30 minutes and 42 seconds, putting them at number 11. Then you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 14th in total offense at 368.4 yards per game. They are 23rd in rushing at 102.6. Number 8 in passing yards at 265.8. And they average 30.9 points a game, putting them number 4. Average time of possession is 30 minutes and 7 seconds, which places them 15th. All right. Defensively. Defensively, both teams rank in the top 10 in total defense and rushing defense. In total defense, the Saints are 8th at 328.4 yards per game, while Tampa Bay is 3rd at 299.5. They trail only the LA Rams and the Indianapolis Colts. All right. New Orleans allows only 90.6 rushing yards per game, which is 3rd. While Tampa Bay is number 1 against the run in the NFL at 70.4 yards per game. As far as passing offense, or passing defense rather, is concerned, the Saints allow 237.9 yards a game. That puts them at 17th, while the Tampa Bay Buccaneers allows 229.1, putting them at number 14. As for scoring defense, the Saints allow 28.1 points a game, which is 23rd. Tampa allows 20.6, putting them at number 7. All right, third down conversions offensively. The Saints are at 49.46%. That puts them in fifth, while the Buccaneers are at 42.57%, placing them 17th. Fourth down conversions offense, the Saints are at 66.67%. They are tied with Detroit, Houston, and Indianapolis for 12th. Tampa Bay is at 83.33%. They're tied with Seattle for 5th. Third down conversions defense. Tampa Bay is at 38.61%, putting them in the top 10. While New Orleans is at 47.92%, placing them 22nd. And then fourth down defense. The Saints are one of the worst. They're at 75%. Tied with Jacksonville, Vegas, and Minnesota for 25th. While the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are at 55.56%. They are tied with San Francisco and Dallas and Washington for 13th. All right. So Drew Brees won the first meeting between the two future Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And I think the home field advantage will come into play, even though there'll be little to no fans in Tampa. I think Tom Brady will have something to prove. Because if we learn anything from his time in New England, he does not lose to the same team twice in the same year. So I say advantage Brady. Give me the Bucs 28-21, and give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to cover the 4 points. And now we come to our final game of the week, which as always is Monday Night Football. And this matchup is probably one of the worst on Monday nights that we've seen in quite some time. Tom Brady's old team, the 2-5 New England Patriots, will visit the Meadowlands to face the winless New York Football Jets at 0-8. Now, if it wasn't for Cam Newton fumbling that ball late in that game against Buffalo, the Patriots probably would have won that game. And then the Jets just got flat out manhandled by the Chiefs. All right, so this is Monday night, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. Your announcers will be the three-man booth of play-by-play voice Steve Levy and color commentators Brian Greasy and Louis Riddick, as well as sideline reporter Lisa Salter. The current point spread as of 2 p.m. Eastern Time Saturday is New England minus 10, over-unders at 41. That brings us to the tell of the tape, starting with the offenses. All right, the Patriots are 21st in total offense at 351.7 yards per game. The Jets are at 259 yards per game. That's 32nd, a.k.a. dead last in the NFL. All right, rushing offense. The Patriots still have one of the best in the league at 159.7 yards per game. That's number 3 behind only Baltimore and Arizona. The Jets are at 103.1 yards per game, so they can run a little bit. They're 22nd in rushing offense. The Patriots and Jets are 2 of the 3 worst passing offenses in the NFL. New England is number 30 at 192 yards a game, while the Jets are 32nd, a.k.a. dead last, at 155.9. The Jets are also dead last in scoring. They average 11.8 yards per game, a league low. While the Patriots, they're down there too. They're at 19.4 points a game. That puts them at number 29. All right, average time of possession. Both are in the bottom half. The Patriots average 29 minutes and 56 seconds in time of possession. That's 18th. The New York Jets are at 27 minutes and 17 seconds. That's number 31. Only the Houston Texans have a lower average time of possession than the New York Football Jets. All right, let's jump to the defense. The New England Patriots. I'm looking. I'm not finding them. All right, the New England Patriots are 14th in the league in total defense at 357.3, while the Jets are 26th at 398.9. Rushing defense. The Jets are 13th at 116.1, while the Patriots are 27th at 140.4. All right, passing defense. The New England Patriots average 216.9 passing yards allowed per game. That's number 9. New York Jets are at 282.8 pass yards allowed, which is 29th. All right, points scored. The Patriots are at 23.9 points a game. That's 12th. The Jets are 28th at 29.8 points per game. All right, third down conversions on offense. The New England Patriots are at 40.26%. That puts them at number 23. The Jets are a league worst 28.3% on third down conversions offensively. Ouch. Fourth down conversions on offense, the Patriots are at 71.43%. That's number 11. While the Jets are at 30.77%, putting them at number 28. Third down conversions defense. The New England Patriots are at 38.89%, which is also number 11. The Jets are at 41.49%, number 16. And in fourth down conversions on defense, the Patriots have not attempted nor converted a fourth down, so they're still at 0%, number 1. The New York Jets, however, are 23rd. In fact, they're tied with the Chicago Bears for 22nd in fourth down conversion defense at 6.67%. This should be more of a slam dunk of a game for the New England Patriots. But if the Jets taught us anything, go back to the Week 7 game against Buffalo, where they were only down by 8 points when the game ended. But I think Cam Newton needs a bounce back game, and I think this is the perfect time for Cam Newton to play like Superman again. Because like I said, this Jets team is straight garbage. Straight up trash. Give me the Patriots to win 24-13, and I have them covering the 10 points. Although the Jets will try to make this close, given this is a divisional matchup. All right, so that's the rest of the Week 9 schedule. All the point spreads, over-unders, my picks straight up and against the spread. Now, I will be back on Tuesday or Wednesday, God willing, for my Week 9 review. So please join me for that. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell twice every time I post a new vid. Big Al signing off. Enjoy the pigskin tomorrow. And I will talk to you either Tuesday or Wednesday when we dive into the week that was and look at week number 9. Anyway, Big Al signing off. Have a great weekend. Peace out.